Hi, Shannon. Thank you for inviting me over here. I hear you're one of the local investors. You've got your own little shop called Shannon's Creations, and I was just looking at some of these things. Pretty nice. You do wood burning with this,
Yes.
and put some color into it and everything.
Yes, I can add watercoloring with either the actual watercolors or the watercolor pencils.
Okay.
And a lot of the shading is just done with different degrees of heat.
Okay. Great. My company's name is well, I'm trying to put together a restaurant called Theophilus Hideout. It's eventually a 24-hour malt shop designed to help people and stuff. And I'm looking for an investor, and I want somebody within the local community to possibly take an interest in it. And I'm not looking for a commitment right now, but I'm just introducing myself. Maybe getting a feel for what the community is needing, and to help in turn help your business as well. Some little questions here. How many bars do you think you have in this area?
We have 4 or 5 bars
Okay.
in fairly close proximity of each other.
Okay. And on the other side of the spectrum, how many churches do you have?
I want to say 3 or 4, and not real close to each other.
Okay. Obviously, I'm trying to look at helping the community with an alternative for recovering alcoholics and stuff like that in other areas. So, this next question, is there an Alcoholic Anonymous group in this area?
There's a house down here on Highway H. I think it's called the Jefferson House. Recovering alcoholics have meetings there weekly.
Okay. And with the adults in this area, is there a safe and inviting place for them to go have fun besides just eating? Is there?
No.
No? Okay. And for job seekers, maybe an employment list, is there any place they can go besides going all the way in town to Racine?
No, we are a very small town, so there's not a whole lot of choices.
Okay. With that being said, are these churches open? The churches that you do have, are they open nightly for maybe alternative options to go into the bars and stuff? Obviously, there's 5 or 6 bars, and they're like any other bars. They're open maybe a little bit longer and stuff. Maybe 7 days a week, some of them.
No, none of the churches are open after their regular service times.
Okay, and when I first came in, you said you had a couple boys and stuff. One still at home. Is there a safe place for them to hang out here?
No.
Besides the parking lots or in the field somewhere? Or in, would it be nice to have a place for them to relax without hanging out in the local parking lots?
It would be nice if we had a place where they could go that is safe, but yet they're not around the alcohol.
Okay. And, we got families here, I'm guessing. They're younger families.
Yes.
I did a little bit of research on here where there are younger kids ranging from elementary all the way up through middle school and high school. So there's a pretty good range of even young adults that are still living at home.
Yes.
And is there a family-safe place around here to have that fun? Where they can sit down and maybe watch a football game or sports together.
Not without the bar being included, no.
Okay. And coming from I asked you about places for jobs and stuff to look for jobs, and you said we established you got to go all the way in town. Would it be beneficial to have a place here for employment networking where these guys can not just get a $7, $8, $9 an hour job, but really network for some nice jobs?
Yes. It would be nice to have employers come in and, where the younger people just getting out of high school, maybe not ready for college, but they need to get started in the workforce.
Okay. And I'm just throwing together some ideas here as we're talking. I wrote down some notes for possibilities. But do you think that, with all this said, do you think there is a room for or a benefit for a sports bar in this area?
A sports bar?
Minus the alcohol.
That would be great.
Okay. With the sports entertainment value with the TVs and stuff. And, we talk about recovering alcoholics and stuff. Research showed me that it costs about $31,307 per inmate per year to house them. How much, and I obviously answered the question of how much does this, a community have to put out towards incarceration and obviously you said you had 5 or 6 bars and stuff, and you've got an AA place up on Highway H here, and so there's not really an alternative, but that it can create havoc for the community, correct?
Yes.
Where at a certain time of night, are the roads really safe for our young people anyhow to be out there if there's a potential for guys coming out of the bars and of that nature? And then again, would it be beneficial for, on the other spectrum? I'm covering a large spectrum with this Malt Shop, but also with the job searching. Do you believe it would be beneficial to have something out here where they don't have to go all the way in town?
Yes.
Where they could, really invest themselves, a place where they can network to get these jobs?
Yes, it would be very beneficial.
Okay. Well, with that, would you be willing to invest maybe in something like Theophilus Hideout as a way to not just help the community, but with your business here, if people feel safer on the highways or on the roads and stuff, would they not feel safer and more apt to, you can maybe keep your place open a little longer at night and people wouldn't be as hesitant about coming out? They wouldn't have to worry about getting run over by a drunk driver as much. That's always going to be there, but
right.
With the Theophilus, it would give them an alternative. They can watch the sports, they can have something to drink. But, you'd get some money on the investment side of it. I think it would be something to go, but also you're investing in the business you already have going on your own, the Shannon's Creations and stuff, and creating a safer shopping environment, not just for you, but the other local businesses in this area.
Right.
And again, with the incarceration, you keep these guys out of jail, out of prison and stuff, instead of the taxpayers paying that $31,307. These guys would be here, and through the job part, we could establish a better income coming in for these guys. Instead of them being incarcerated, they're out making money and spending money in the neighborhood or in the community here in Franksville, so they're giving back to the community while they're in prison or incarcerated, not just the $31,000. But then you also look at the, we all have loved ones. This is a small community, I notice. So wouldn't it benefit our community also, as far as not just the expense of, if somebody got killed, the expense of the funerals and stuff like that, but the emotional expense on the community, right, having to deal with, we may not know them personally, but everybody knows everybody, so you take a personal interest in that. And so the benefits, there again, helping the community, and you get a stronger community that way. And then with the Theophilus Hideout, with the idea of some nice food and everything, it would bring in the families and stuff. It'd be a central place where family can hang out, maybe watch a game. MTVs could very easily change to watching other stuff for the kids. Talking about young adults, creating a place where they can hang out, where you don't have to worry about them in the parking lots with law enforcement coming and they're not doing anything wrong, but the business owners don't like groups of kids hanging out in their parking lot. So this would, bring them in, and if they're coming in, they're young adults, so hopefully they be attracted to the employment networking, can help them get with the right employers and stuff. And Franksville, I noticed, I took a drive around the area, and you've got a couple, I'm part of this community too, but we've got a couple industrial parks here. We got one out on the freeway, and then you got one up here on Nicholson Road.
Yes.
So, you got places where you can plug these guys to get employment, but also in time maybe have the funds available to establish more businesses here in the area. And if we establish more businesses, it would bring more people in to not just shop at those businesses, but you'd have more foot traffic for Shannon's, creations and stuff. So, I'm looking for investors to, maybe make a little money on, but directly from Theophilus Hideout, but also, increase your cash flow in your own personal business that you have going. And so, I laid out a bunch of stuff for you to think about. It's not a rush deal. We want to set this up right. We want to look at being a part of this community.
Right.
I want to, just like you, make the community safe, but I don't have the funds to do it myself. So I'm looking at bringing in other businesses to help with this, and so it's a community effort to establish a stronger community, not just physically, where bring the people closer together, but also help our financial situation where we have a good net worth income coming around this area, where the kids are safe. They don't have a reason to go in town to go get their jobs and stuff. They can stay out here and create their own, encourage entrepreneurial studies and stuff like that nature. But so, with that being said, what do you think of all this?
I think it's a good idea. Our community could really use a place like this, because the next town over is, you have to have a car in order to get there, because there's no bus service out here. There's no taxis out here. And we have a lot of high school students. We have a lot of college students. And unless they have their driver's license and a vehicle, they're not going anywhere. They're stuck in this little town. And there's not a lot of opportunity for jobs in this little town.
Yeah. Okay, so this would be possibly something you'd want to invest in then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me, get some information. I want to get more of the business plan designed out. I got your input, and make sure we hit all your concerns. I think we got a lot of your concerns. I did a lot of the homework before I came and talked to you. I got my, the bulk of my business plan set up. I know the house out there is called the Benjamin House, and it's AA, but, like you, they need an alternative place to go besides just there where they can get into the community. Everybody likes to watch a good football game or a baseball game, but like you alluded to, they need to go to one of the bar or drinking establishments to do such. The churches are only open so many days a week, so and also not everybody's into the church.
Right.
So I don't want to. I know my beliefs are a church. I know your beliefs are a church, but not everybody's into church. But we want to present an alternative avenue for them to come in and feel comfortable without a bunch of religious paraphernalia up. But feel comfortable with it.
Correct.
And coming from a church standpoint, if they feel that, I'm not going to hide what I stand for, but I'm not going to throw up Bible verses all over the place.
On an even playing field for everybody.
Exactly, and they can come in. We established some rulings where the profanity and stuff, because it is a family-friendly environment. But keep it safe. Where once we get to the 24 hours. Make sure there's more than 2 or 3 people there, so there's no, especially if you got younger people coming in between the hours of, say, 2:30 after or 3 o'clock when they get done from school till about whatever time they need to go home and stuff. You don't want to